1968 Olympics Black Power Salute, a photograph that changed history, by John Dominis. On October 16, 1968, at the Summer Olympics in Mexico City, a single photograph froze a moment in time that would echo through decades of civil rights history, political controversy, and artistic legacy. This is the story of that image, and the man behind the camera who captured it. John Dominis was born in Los Angeles in 1921, the son of Croatian immigrants. From an early age, he developed a fascination with visual storytelling, a fascination that would carry him through one of the most celebrated careers in photojournalism. He served as a U.S. Army photographer during World War II and afterward joined the staff of Life magazine, where he would spend the defining decades of his professional life. Dominis had an extraordinary range. He photographed celebrities. His intimate portraits of Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and other rock legends are iconic in their own right. He documented wildlife across Africa, capturing some of the most breathtaking big cat photographs ever published. He photographed presidents, athletes, battlefields, and quiet human moments in equal measure. But it was on a warm October evening in Mexico City that Dominis took the most consequential photograph of his career, and arguably one of the most consequential photographs of the 20th century. The 200-meter final at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics had just concluded. Tommie Smith of the United States had won gold, setting a world record. His teammate John Carlos had taken bronze. Between them on the silver medal podium stood Peter Norman of Australia. As the Star-Spangled Banner began to play, Smith and Carlos each raised a black-gloved fist toward the sky, a silent, powerful salute in protest of racial inequality and the systemic oppression of Black Americans. Smith wore a black scarf around his neck, representing Black pride. Carlos wore beads, a tribute to those who had been lynched or killed. Both men wore no shoes, only black socks, a symbol of Black poverty. Peter Norman, the Australian silver medalist, wore an Olympic Project for Human Rights badge on his chest in solidarity. He had asked to be part of the statement. Dominis was positioned in exactly the right place. His photograph captures all three men on the podium, the stadium crowd blurred and vast behind them, the moment suspended in black and white. The composition is remarkable. Smith stands tallest at the center, his right arm stretched upward at full extension, his fist a sharp, dark shape against the black sky above the stadium lights. Carlos, to the right, raises his left arm. They had split a single pair of gloves between them, each taking one. Norman stands to the left, not raising a fist, but present, facing forward, his badge visible. Notably, Norman does not look away. He does not appear uncomfortable. He simply stands. The three figures form a visual triangle, with Smith's vertical raised fist as the apex, a compositional choice that draws the eye upward with unmistakable urgency. Dominis made the choice to shoot in black and white, and that decision matters enormously to the photograph's impact. Black and white strips away distraction. It removes the color of the athlete's skin as a visual element and replaces it with something more elemental. Light, shadow, form, and gesture. The raised fist against the absolute blackness of the sky above the stadium becomes almost sculptural, like a monument already. The dark tracksuits of the American athletes absorb the light and anchor the lower half of the frame, while Norman's lighter jacket creates a contrast that keeps all three men equally visible within the composition. The stadium behind them is out of focus but unmistakably present. We feel the scale of the audience, the weight of the public moment. This is not a candid snapshot. It is a perfectly timed, beautifully composed document of history. Dominis had the technical mastery to hold the frame steady, to choose the right focal length, to understand in a fraction of a second what this moment was. That is the invisible skill of great photojournalism, to be invisible yourself and let the moment speak. The image and the gesture it captured provoked immediate backlash. Smith and Carlos were expelled from the Olympic Village by the International Olympic Committee. They returned home to death threats and professional consequences that would follow them for years. Peter Norman faced persistent criticism in Australia and was controversially excluded from the 2000 Sydney Olympics, despite qualifying. He died in 2006. At his funeral, Tommie Smith and John Carlos served as pallbearers. John Dominis continued his distinguished career at Life magazine and later People magazine, but this photograph became his most enduring legacy. It has been reproduced countless times, referenced in films and television, analyzed in classrooms, and debated in political arenas. A sculpture based on the image stands at San Jose State University. The photograph was named one of the 100 most influential images in history by Time magazine. This photograph endures not merely because of what happened, but because of how it was captured. Dominis understood, instinctively, in the moment, that the raised fist was not aggression. It was grief, pride, and demand all at once. His framing gives the gesture its full dignity. He does not diminish Smith and Carlos by shooting from above. He does not isolate them in a way that makes them seem alone or fragile. He places them in context, on a podium, having just won in front of the world, and lets that context amplify the statement. Great photographs do not simply record. They argue. They insist that you look and keep looking until you understand something you did not understand before. John Dominis gave us a photograph that still argues, 57 years later, and the argument is not over. This has been a visual analysis of John Dominis's 1968 Black Power salute. Thank you for watching.